Alright guys, welcome back to the Crazy Medusa YouTube channel, right? So professional, you must be wondering why I'm saying this, because it's a whole new place, and as you can see in the background, I am sitting in a different spot. You guys better get used to it because this is our new YouTube studio slash background slash desk setup, whatever you want to call it. But essentially, for all of you guys that are new to the channel, my name is Saloni and I am a biomedical engineer currently working in upstate New York, and we are close to hitting 45,000 subscribers, maybe a little bit more by the time this video goes live. I've been working on this desk setup that you see right behind me for about a year or so, and it's been possible because of each and every one of you who is watching this video. So a huge thank you and a huge shout out to you guys for getting the channel this far. And in this video, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna show you guys this whole desk setup. Maybe you guys can take some inspiration and basically treat it as a foundation if you're trying to build something similar. So no setup is complete without an aesthetic background. And you know what guys, I'm not going to lie, I am really bad at making anything aesthetic. If you've seen any of my unboxing videos, the iPhone or the iPad, you'll probably notice that I butcher anything that I get my hands on, including all the packages. So I'm really bad at this, but I tried my best, okay? So to start off, because I'm a biomedical engineer, I thought I'd put a little hint of where I got my inspiration to do this career. And essentially we have three frames on the back wall. One of them is a bionic leg. The other one is a bionic arm, and the third one in the middle is the Da Vinci surgical robot. And essentially all of these three things are something that really caught my attention and you know, kept my interest and curiosity in the whole field of medical technology when I was studying biomedical engineering. Essentially, the only thing that's missing, and I don't know if it's even worth it, it is sound panels. So I don't know too much about this. Let me know in the comments if any of you guys are aware of this. Is it even worth it to put sound panels? Because I'm in a closed room, how does the audio quality sound? I mean, the two things that I'm confused about is one, whether I should put them or not. The other thing, should it be somewhere visible? Because I know every like gaming or tech YouTuber does this, put like sound panels on the back that are black. So let me know in the comments below if they're worth it and where you'd like to see them. To start off, the most basic part of any setup, let's talk about the desk. Now, the one that I decided to go with is the autonomous smart desk in the extra long size. It's just like a preference because I wanted to get, you know, some space so I could put an extra wide monitor. But essentially, I decided to get the dark walnut finish with the black frame. And I must say, I'm super impressed. Initially, I kind of just got it for the hype because every single desk setup video that I saw had this desk. It goes all the way from 26.2 inches to 50 inches. And it was like, for me, when it actually came in, it didn't really make much of a difference. I'm a relatively short person, but it did make a difference when it comes to different people trying to use this desk, because it also offers 3 different types of memory settings that you can set the height to. So highly recommend this. And the other cool thing that I found about this desk was the actual weight that it could hold. Now, it can hold anywhere between 300 pounds. So I think it's needless to say that I did try to sit on it and go up and down. Super roller coaster ride. But I've been using it for a couple of weeks now. And the one thing that I would say, it's very sturdy, no issues whatsoever. It is a little bit on the pricey end, but I know that this is a good investment for me, and I'm gonna have this desk for the next couple of years to come. And I'll probably be spending a lot of my time here, whether it's trying to do research or be productive. So I think this is like, it's basically like a mattress, you know. You need to be in a very productive space when you're trying to get work done. So that's why I invested in this, and I would highly recommend it. If I were to like move in the next couple of years, I know that this desk is coming with me anywhere I go. So if you guys want to, I would highly recommend getting this desk. So the link to get this desk is going to be in the description below, and I should have mentioned this earlier, but the link to everything that I talk about in this video is going to be in the description. But in case I miss something, because we're going to go over a couple things, just let me know in the comments and I'll include the links there. Now, the other thing that I attached to this desk, 2 things that I kind of like got as add-ons. One was the cable tray, which is a little incomplete right now because honestly, me being the noob in aesthetic things, I don't know how to set up a cable tray. I just like smushed everything in there and it's hanging on by a thread. You probably can't see it in this video, but it's just hanging there. The other thing I decided to attach was the Philips light strip on the back. so that, you know, the wall is lit and it provides some sort of like ambiance, aesthetic lighting. I don't know how aesthetic it is. Let me know in the comments below. But essentially, you can kind of like change it with your phone. So if I wanted to, I could, you know, change it from red to blue to purple to yellow and then back to red. So it's pretty cool, and you know, it gives a lot of flexibility in terms of what you can actually do with the desk setup, especially when I'm filming, to create like a different vibe when I'm live streaming or working and set the mood, you know. The next part of the setup that I decided to invest in, and I promise this is like just the last part of the larger investments of the whole setup, was an actual good chair. Now, I've had some really bad experiences in the past because I decided to go with cheaper options, and you know, they just didn't work out. It would be fine for a couple of weeks, a couple months, and I would start getting these lower back issues, just pains, and just like the ergonomic posture wasn't suitable. The one that I decided to go with this time was the Autonomous Ergo Chair Pro in the all black. Now, this does have like a mesh back to it, which I was a little skeptical about initially because, you know, I was like, what if it tears? And, you know, it's really not suitable for someone who wants to like use this on a daily basis. But I must say, the way they've designed even the mesh, it has all of these crossbars, which looks super aesthetic from the back. It has a headrest. It has a lumbar support, so it's ergonomically stable if you're looking to actually work at the desk. And it has like height adjustable settings, lumbar support, backrest, head support, and armrest, everything that can be adjustable. So you can really like tweak this chair to something that you need. And that's something that I really liked. In addition to this, it can hold up to 300 pounds. So a variety of people can actually use this chair, multiple people in your household. And it also comes with a 2-year warranty. So if you're in the market for a good chair, I would highly recommend investing in this one. So let's come to the tabletop and talk a little bit about what actually goes on the surface of the desk. I decided to try 2 different types, and honestly, you can use whichever one that suits your needs and you like the aesthetic of. If your desk isn't as big as mine, maybe the smaller one is the right way for you to go. The smaller one that I got was from DeltaHub. The cool thing about this was, even though I got it in the dark gray, the underside of the mat has kind of like this anti-slip technology that they introduced. So when you actually lay the mat flat on the desk, it doesn't slip in any way. And if you're trying to move your keyboard and mouse around, it can easily kind of like seamlessly flow about. The second one that is decided to try out was the Grovemade Extra Large Dark Gray Wool Felt Mat. And I must say, for my setup, because the desk was so large and I wanted to like protect all the space, because I know I'll be putting various things on there like my hard disk and, you know, camera and all that stuff, I decided to go with the Grovemade one. And I absolutely love this desk mat. It gives an aesthetic look to the whole desk. It protects it. It's also like, if you're this might sound gross, but I know some people, like when they actually rest their arm on the desk, they tend to sweat. So that doesn't cause any issues over here. And you can kind of like freely use the desk without having to worry about any damages that you may cause. And because of the biomedical engineer in me, and I'm so conscious about, you know, everything having a good ergonomic support and feel, the next thing I decided to get was an actual desk shelf that I could put my monitor on. The one that I decided to go with was the Grovemade desk shelf, which just gave the whole setup a really aesthetic and pleasing look. It had the same felt-like material of the desk mat, so that really went together, and the light color of the wood tone complemented with the walnut finished desktop that I actually got. Now, the desk shelf itself can fit 2 standard monitors, but you know what, I was like, screw that, I'm just gonna get an extra large monitor. And I didn't really think too much for this. I just honestly got the cheapest extra wide monitor that I saw in Walmart. I was this close to buying the Apple Magic keyboard, trackpad, and mouse setup, but then I realized that I'm gonna have a really tough time if I end up using a Windows computer, which I sometimes do for some other stuff that I need to do. So after months and months of research, I finally found a Logitech keyboard and mouse that were compatible with both. So I decided to get the MX Keys keyboard and the MX Master mouse from Logitech. And I've been using them for a while now. The mouse provides super comfort and support on like the wrist. And just to add a little bit of like spice and a little more ergonomic support, I really liked this wrist rest provided by DeltaHub that I decided to invest in. Super cheap, affordable, and it essentially provides your wrist with that extra lift that you need to make sure that you don't strain it from like hours of use on the mouse. Now, while I really liked both the desk mats that I got, because they were like wool felt in material, they were a little like difficult to slide the mouse over, I'm not going to lie. So the next thing I decided to buy was the mouse pad, and I decided to get two leather finish, one in black and the other one in brown. And the black one that I got was by Grovemade. It provides a very like minimalistic and kind of like a camouflage look to the setup that I kind of put together here. And the second one that I got was by Nomad, which was again a really good contrast to the dark gray mat already on the desk. Now I decided to use the Nomad mouse pad for my mouse and DeltaHub wrist support, but I kept the Grovemade mouse pad on the side so that I could use it as like an additional placeholder for my camera, my other gear, some headphones and stuff like that, just because I didn't want to lay those things specifically just on the desk for any scratches or anything like that. Now, I've literally seen every other YouTuber have this in their setup, and I've just been so impressed. So I had to get this next piece, which is the Grovemade MacBook dock in the walnut finish. Oh my god, I must say it looks so cool with the whole setup. It just fits perfectly, provides that additional wool felt support to your MacBook when you slide it in. Oh my god, every time I put my MacBook in there, it's just like so pleasing. But it also gives it enough room to, air out if it gets heated up. And of course, it's aesthetically pleasing, which is what the whole like concept that we're trying to go with here. So this is definitely something that I would recommend you get if there's one thing that you saw and liked out of these Grovemade products. I'm going to leave a link to all the Grovemade products in the description below. So definitely check them out. They provide such a nice and productive environment. You just feel like studying and working. Like ever since I built this desk, I just want to come and work on it. So that is the type of environment that you should be in. Now, I'm someone who likes their phone by their side, even if it's just on silent and I'm working. And I just run into so many scenarios where either my AirPods are out of charge, my phone needs charging and whatnot. So I decided to get the walnut finish base hub charging station from Nomad. And it is super. It just like helps me get rid of all the wires. It can charge up to 3 devices at once, or an AirPod and an iPhone, which is pretty much what I use it for. It's super easy to use. It kind of like gets rid of all of your like different iPhone wires that you need, and it's compatible with different devices. Now, after using this base charging station for a while, I was so impressed with the quality that Nomad provided. I just decided to get their leather keychain, wallet, as well as their phone case in this like really nice leather finish, which provided like that whole complete look to what I was trying to get with. And I was a little skeptical because I know that if you kind of like get a scratch, it's like really visible, but they sent all of these cleaning supplies that you actually wouldn't need in case you get any scratches. Now, since I used just one monitor on my setup instead of 2, I decided to fill the space with some other items that are useful to me. So on one side, I decided to get a pencil holder, also by Grovemade, which again puts a really nice aesthetic feel. It also has like this cork soft touch on the end, so it doesn't ruin any of your nice pens or pencils that you would need. I didn't fill it up too much just because I want to keep what I use at this desk and not just fill it with unnecessary stuff. The other thing that I decided to get was a mini plant holder because every single YouTuber has it, and I guess it looks good, but maybe we'll never know, because IKEA is like 100 miles from here and I haven't been able to get my plant. So currently I use this plant holder as a holder for my SD cards, flash drives, other small like tiny things, but soon there'll be a plant in there, I promise. And the other side of this setup, I decided to get a very basic, kind of like an aesthetic fake plant at Target. Nothing too like over the top, just like a $5 plant, because I'm not going to spend like $100 on plants. The other thing right beside it was the Bose speakers. Now these were the new ones that have come out. They're sort of like these portable speakers, but they do a really nice job. Now I use these for the surround sound when I'm kind of like using this whole setup instead of my MacBook. And I feel like they do a pretty good job. So they're only like $120. And one of the cheapest Bose products, which is why I like just went and bought it. But they do a very good job if you're trying to invest in some good pair of speakers. Now, the other side of the spectrum to this whole thing is when I'm editing sometimes, just so I can understand the sound quality that I'm trying to, edit in and output these videos for you guys, I do use like some good headphones. Right now, the headphones that I'm using are the Apple AirPods Pro Max, and they are in space gray. I'm not gonna lie, not super happy with them at the moment, just because they're so delicate and they keep falling off of my ears. The kind of like the earpieces on both sides, they're very bulky, and it's kind of like a pain in most cases. I can't use them for like over 30 minutes, so I just take them off and use my normal AirPods instead. So that one is something that I wouldn't really recommend if you're trying to look for something. I mean, I would just go with some AirPods or something that's a lot more cheaper. Now, the most important part of this desk setup is the actual computer that powers this whole desk, and right now I am using a 2019 MacBook Pro. I've been using it for 2 years. At the time when I bought it, I didn't really think that I was going to do a whole lot of editing because I didn't have a YouTube channel back then. But since then, the purpose of this laptop has really evolved. And oh boy, like every time I sit down to edit a YouTube videos, it just heats up and it's about to burst. So I am looking at getting the new MacBook Pro Max or whatever, the one that it just came out with, like the new M1 chip. I have already ordered it and it is set to come maybe in a couple weeks. So that upgrade will happen soon, and hopefully, you guys can see more videos because I'll be able to edit them faster. But essentially, right, connected to the MacBook Pro, since there are so many wires, including charging cables, HDMI, my hard disk, SD cards, all of these things, I don't want to keep having to like take them in and out of the MacBook. So I do use the Anker docking station. I've been using it for a while now. It does get heated up a little bit, which is something that I'm a little skeptical about. We'll see how it goes, but essentially that kind of completes the whole setup that you see behind me. All the lights that you see are all Philips Hue. There is the strip, the bar, as well as a bulb that kind of like lights up this whole setup. The mic that I use that is right in front of me is the Blue Yeti, which is a basic, pretty common mic, nothing too fancy. And the editing software, in case any of you guys want to know, that I use is Adobe Premiere Pro. So that pretty much completes the whole setup. If you like this video and you're watching till this point, just smash that thumbs up button and come on, subscribe. Please, please, please consider subscribing. Like, a lot of effort goes into these videos, and it would be so helpful if you did hit that subscribe button. It's free. Like, why aren't you doing it? But essentially, that's pretty much about it. Leave comments below to any products. Check them out. All the links are going to be in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Welcome to our new desk setup. As you can see, we are in a completely different place. ये बहुत ही गंदा था, ये नहीं डालेंगे, ठीक है? Desk accessories. Yeah. Accessories. Woo! Logitech ने sponsor नहीं किया, मैं ज़्यादा time नहीं spend कर रही.
Battery 70%. Connected to Salome's iPhone and Salome's MacBook Pro.